Hello everyone, how's it going? Billy Ballgame here, back with another video. I figured I would go ahead and get one out today, or I may not be able to get one out this week because I have so much going on now that basketball has started up. So today's video, I'm going to do a quick SGC preview. I'm going to send 2 cards of a 31 card order. I'm going to send some in for Chris, and I decided to throw a couple cards in. And then I'm also going to go over the 1983 top set. Now, this is a big set. We all know what rookie cards are in it, but there are 96 Hall of Famers by my count in this set. So I'm not going to talk very much, or this will be way too long of a video. So I'm going to go ahead and get this flipped around and start showing you some cards. I'll be right back with you. All right, I'm back with you for the second part of the video. Please forgive the cards in the background. One of these days I'll get those all, the rest of them top loaded and penny sleeved and put away. So I'm going to talk about the 2 cards for my portion of the SGC reveal. So you saw this on my to grade or not to grade video. This Mark McGwire I have reviewed, pre-graded a few times. I think that it's going to grade an 8. If it grades an 8, I'll be okay on it, and probably keep it in my PC and upgrade it maybe at some point. I would really like to see a 9, but I don't think it'll get a 9. I think it's I think the centering is off too much, top to bottom. And there are a couple little chips along the edges that I can see with a magnifying glass and not my loop. So that's why I think that probably an 8 is what I'm going to get out of this card. But we'll see. You never know. So I'm going to send that one off. And then I pulled out another Barry Sanders. So like I said before, I pulled out what I thought was my best one, and it graded as a 9.5. So I've got this one that I'm going to send in just to see where it grades. I have on my pre-grade sheet, how can this not be a 10? Because I think that this is really well centered, and I couldn't find anything wrong with it with a loop. I mean, the corners and edges look really nice to me. So I'm hoping for a 10 on this, but in all reality, it will probably grade a 9 or a 9.5. And then if it grades a 9.5, I'll just decide which one of the 2 that I'm going to have at that point are the nicest one, and then I'll sell the other one. But this is out of the 5 sets that I bought a few years ago for $5 a piece. So again, I want to grade a bunch of the cards out of those sets, keep the best, and then sell the rest depending on what the grades are. And I got them for so cheap. If I get good grades, 9s and 10s, I'll be okay on those sets. So that's it for the SGC pre-grade. I'm hoping I can get those sent out early this week. Today's Saturday. I'm actually filming this prior to the Mizzou and South Carolina game. So I'm hoping I can get those sent out early this week and get them back toward the end of the week or next weekend. But okay, so that's that. Now I'm going to start going through the 83 Topps set cards. So this is one of my favorite sets from the 80s. Here is Lou Whitaker. This is actually the second set of these that I've owned. I bought one off of eBay many, many years ago. And this set I got from the basement collection. Again, as with everything that I've picked up from the basement collection, it's in great condition. As far as original condition they came out of the packs in. Now this set is really hard to find good centered cards. And this is pretty reflective of that. You'll see a lot of off-centered cards in here that are sharp otherwise. So there aren't many that I'm going to grade from this, but there are a few. So I'll go through them and show you which ones I'm going to grade. So there's Bobby Grich All-Star, Pete Rose, and I just like the design of these with the second photo down at the bottom. There's Pete Rose's Super Vet, and that's why there are so many Hall of Famers in this set, because they all have a regular card. You know, they have a Super Vet, and then there are a lot of All-Star cards too. So here's Dwight Evans, Dusty Baker, Dave Parker. But you can see the corners and the edges. All these cards are clean. I haven't found a single dinged corner or edge in any of these cards. I haven't gone through them real thoroughly, but overall they're in really sharp condition. So they were well taken care of. It's just a matter of if it was a centered card coming out of the pack. Like this Louis Tiant's pretty sharp. Here's Bobby Grich. And I'm going to try to go through these quick because, like I said, there are a lot of them. Dale Murphy, Rusty Staub. Here's his Super Vet, Rusty Staub. Tommy John. Tommy John's Super Vet. Cecil Cooper, I believe. Oh, Al Oliver, Dale Murphy, and Hal McRae. Keith Hernandez. So the set I bought of these before, I bought in probably 2010 or 11 off eBay, and I think at the time I paid maybe $60, $70 for it. Mike cut me really good prices on these sets from the Basement Collection. So anything that I get in a grade, any cards that I grade, and I may grade this just because I'm a Cardinals fan, it's a clean card. But yeah, any of these that I can get decent grades on to keep in my collection, like it makes sense for me to grade them with the price I paid for this set. And what I would like is 8 or 9s. If I could get a couple 10s, then that'd be sweet, but I'm not going to bank on it. So here are the rookie cards, some of them anyway. Here's Gary Gaetti, good player for the Twins for a long time. Played for the Cardinals later in his career. Frank Viola, this was a pretty big card in the early 90s. Frank was a really good ace pitcher for the Minnesota Twins. There's Willie McGee. I just got this one in a PSA 9 not too long ago off of eBay. And then here's the Wade Boggs. This one's off-centered. So this may, I don't know what the centering would knock this down to. My guess would be a 7 or an 8. But we'll see. Once I get some of these graded and start getting some grades back, if they grade better than I think they're going to for some of them, I may start sending more in. So this one is a really clean card, just off-centered. And it's pretty similar to the other set that I got. I have that Tony Gwynn in a 9 that I bought from Chris from Missouri a while ago. So if I graded this, it would just be to sell it. But it's a sharp card. It's clean. It's just off-centered left to right. So this one may grade an 8. And if it would grade an 8, then that might be worth grading. So some of these I'll review again at some point. So here are the Hall of Famers. Rod Carew, Super Vet. Whitey Herzog. Ricky Henderson. Love that card. Harold Baines, everyone's favorite Hall of Famer. Dennis Eckersley. This one's pretty sharp, well-centered. That one may be worth grading at some point. I don't know. Carlton Fisk, one of my favorite catchers of all time. I really was a big fan of Carlton Fisk back in his White Sox days with Frank Thomas and Robin Ventura. They were one of probably my second favorite American League team behind the Mariners back then. Reggie Jackson, Ricky's All-Star. George Brett, All-Star. Robin Yount, All-Star. Rod Carew. Red Sox batting and pitching leaders with Jim Rice. Cubs leaders with Leon Durham and Fergie. Leon was a pretty good player for a few years. There's Raleigh Fingers. This channel is the proud sponsor of Raleigh Fingers Mustache. Here's his Super Vet. Clean cut Raleigh and a massive mustache Raleigh. Two versions of Raleigh there. Jim Rice. Carlton Fisk. Ricky Henderson Record Breaker. Tony Perez Super Vet. Dan Quisenberry and Bruce Sutter. Lamar Hoyt and Steve Carlton. Steve Carlton again. What a dominating pitcher he was for a long time, Steve Carlton. Lefty, they called him. There's Gorman Thomas along with Reggie Jackson and Dave Kingman. Lee Smith. There's the first stack of Hall of Famers. Here's Alan Trammell. Steve Carlton again. Steve Carlton Super Vet. Jack Morris. Johnny Bench. Cal Ripken. This would be his second year card. Bruce Sutter. Bruce Sutter Super Vet. Don Sutton. Don Sutton Super Vet. Joe Torre. Tony La Russa. Very young looking Tony La Russa. Rod Carew. I always like this card for some reason with his sweatband on his other picture. I don't know why. I always just thought that was cool. Joe Morgan. In another video, I think I said that his last cards were in 84, but I think he still has a card in 86 Topps with Oakland A's, if I'm not mistaken. So Joe Morgan was around a long time. Over 100 cumulative WAR for his career, I believe. There's George Brett. Tim Rock Raines, second year, I believe, or was his 81? That'd be his third year then. There's Tom Terrific, Tom Seaver. Frank Robinson, first black manager in baseball in the major leagues. That's a sharp centered card there. That might be worth grading at some point. I don't know. Super Vet, Carly Yastrzemski. There's Ozzie Smith. I believe I have this graded for my Ozzie player run in a 9. No, maybe I made that up because I don't see it back there on the wall. I guess I don't have that. I'll need to add it. Here's Eddie Murray. Batting and pitching leaders with Oakland, we've got Ricky Henderson. There's Mr. October, Reggie Jackson with the California Angels. That's not a bad looking card though. Pretty well centered. Here is his Super Vet. Same batting stance in 83 as he had in his rookie year in, that's photos either 68 or 69, I would guess. Dale Murphy and Phil Niekro. Rich Gossage, aka Goose. Here's his Super Vet card. Here's Steve Garvey, Phillies pitching and batting leaders with Bo Diaz. Fergie, getting toward the end of his career there. Here's Fergie's Super Vet. Gorman Thomas, or Pete Vukovich, and Robin Yount. Tommy Lasorda. I wonder who he's talking to, what he's saying there. Mike Schmidt, one of the greatest third basemen of all time. Here's Bert Blyleven. This is a sharp, well-centered card. I don't know what kind of value it has, even in a 10, but if I thought this would 10, I might grade it. But it's really clean, so who knows? It could. 10s are really hard to get in these cards, though, for sure. Here's Dave Winfield, Tony Perez, Bobby Cox with Toronto. We all know he would make his fame with the Braves. Paul Molitor, Angels leaders with Rod Carew, Mike Witt, longtime pitcher. Sparky almost smiling. I don't know if that's a smile he's trying to sneak out there or what's going on. But that's a nice card. Jim Cott spent a big chunk of his career with the Cardinals. Here's his regular card. Jim Cott could be the classic definition of a compiler. He never won 300 games, but like 380 something. I don't remember how many Gold Gloves, 13 or something crazy like that. Andre Dawson. Mike Schmidt. This one's pretty sharp. Earl Weaver. Gary Carter. Tim Raines. All right, we're getting close to the end here, and then I've got a few that I've got in top loaders or card savers to maybe grade. I don't know. I'll look at them again. Bruce Sutter, Lefty, Steve Carlton, Phil Niekro, Super Vet. That dude pitched for a long, long time. I think he pitched into the 90s even, maybe. I'd have to look on Baseball Reference. Late 80s, early 90s for sure. Robin Yount. Nolan Ryan, Super Vet. I would like to grade this. This one's just too off-center, I think. Gary Carter. Ted Simmons. Ted Simmons again. This is going to be a long video. I'm trying to go as quick as I can. There's Gaylord. There's Gaylord's regular card. Jim Palmer. Super Vet. Jim Palmer's regular card. So look at this stack of Hall of Famers here. Like, that's a big stack of cards right there. Whole lot of Hall of Famers in this set. All right, here's the ones that I'm going to consider for grading. Mike Schmidt's Super Veteran. This one's pretty clean, well-centered. Maybe a little bit off on the back. Stolen Base Leaders. I just think this is a cool card. Young Ricky Henderson and a young Tim Raines. But this one's really clean. Nicely centered on the back even. Here's Johnny Bench. This one's a little bit off center, but I'll take a Johnny Bench graded in an 8 from 83. I mean, for 15 bucks for grading fee, why not? And then here is Jim Palmer and Eddie Murray. Really well centered, nice clean card. Really sharp. Here's Nolan Ryan. This one's a little off centered. But again, if I could get an 8 for 15 bucks, then why not? I don't know what the value of an 8 is. Kind of the same story with this Carl Yastrzemski, just a little off-centered. Tom Seaver. This one's a little better. Maybe I could get a 9 on this. I don't know. Off-center a little bit on the back. And then the only rookie card that I think may be okay for grading is this Sandberg. I would hope that this would get a 9, but the centering may hold it back into an 8. I don't know. So this one is pretty similar to the Wade Boggs and the Tony Gwynn. So depending on what this one comes back as, it looks like there is, I can't tell if that's a stain or just in the cardboard. But so if this grades as an 8 or a 9, then I may send the Gwynn and the Boggs in, just because, like I said, they're very similar as far as their centering and stuff. I've always been a huge fan of that Rhino rookie card, even though, you know, he was a Cub. It's in my DNA to dislike the Cubs, being a Cardinals fan. But okay, that's it. This is going to be about a 22 or 23 minute video. So if everybody stuck around till the end, I appreciate it. And I guess that'll wrap it up. So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. And until the next one, I hope everybody has a good one, and I'll talk to you later.